just to let you know how real I am, I made this video in the same day as the other one, and you'll probably be able to tell because, well, it'll say in the video. I'm wondering if there's some sort of rehab for people that cannot stop making videos like I am right now. I mean, it's not really over the top addiction, so I don't know if it's my addiction personality coming out. Addictive personality. That's what I meant to say. Which I really don't think that I have one. It might be that I'm just enjoying myself. Yeah, I might really be just enjoying myself, which is amazing. I never thought that I would enjoy doing this. I mean, I think there is something very addictive about having something you're passionate about and something that you enjoy. And when you find something that you enjoy, you want to keep doing it. And that is me. That is me. When I find something I want to enjoy, when I find something that I want to do and I enjoy it, then I do more of it, if that makes sense. And as you can see, I am yet again being impromptu and improvisational, which is just me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. So anyway, so I'm just gonna go over some of the things that I've experienced. So when I was in public school, and I wasn't in public school for very often, I actually dropped out at first grade. Dropped out. That makes me sound really sophisticated, doesn't it? No, I actually started up on homeschool after that. I didn't just like drop out and not go back, but I did it at home instead. So, yeah, I was in public school, and I have Hispanic heritage. So my father was Hispanic. He was light-skinned, and the great thing about Hispanic culture, you know, it's a very wide, it's a culture that spans many different countries, and there are many different colors when it comes to Hispanic culture. So, and that's what makes all cultures beautiful, is that they don't, every person looks different, and there are different shades and different colors that we can see. So I'm definitely on the light-skinned spectrum of the Latinx or the Latino identity. So, but I was very hairy, especially on my arms, and there would be kids who would grab a hold of my hair and they go like this, and they'd say, "What's this? This is weird." And at the time, I didn't know how to respond, so sometimes I would actually cry, and I would get very upset. There was one kid, his name was Jose, actually. It looked like Jesus, but it was, I think, Jose or Jesus or something of that. And he used to make fun of me. He went beyond bullying. He was like, he would terrorize me until I would just burst into tears. And this kid was a terror. He actually one time threw me in the boys' bathroom, and he would not let me out. So I was trapped there, and I had to wait until he left so I could get out. And of course, nobody really believed me because he was a Hispanic kid, and I looked like a white kid. So they're thinking, oh yeah, you're just, you know, racist or something, you know. I'm like 8 years old. I'm not racist. I'm like, I wasn't raised racist, okay? So, you know, he was, you know, and he acted very mature in front of the other adults. I could see him where he was just very serious and very polite. So the adults never suspected that he did anything. And so I would cry in front of him, and he wouldn't care. He would just like look at me like this, like, I don't care. And it was hurtful. And you know, over the years, I've tried different things. I've tried bleaching my hair. I tried shaving it, my my arm hair, and it just would come back within 3 days. And of course, there's my eyebrows. My eyebrows. I know they look like two fuzzy caterpillars. So if there's any trolls that want to say, "What happened to your eyebrows?" Uh, what happened was my DNA. Uh, it happened when my mommy and my daddy, they got together and they made a baby. They made Whoopi, you know. Bam bam, thank you ma'am. You know the drill. And then my mom, 9 months later, had a baby, and she gave me her neurodivergency, meaning my autism and my ADHD. So thank you, mother. And and then of course I got her good looks. Obviously, I got her. I'm not bad looking. Uh, so and then uh, I got fuzzy eyebrows. Yeah. So that's called Latino heritage, the Latinx look. That's what it's called. So that's what happened. And also, I have a trauma issue. This is something that dates back to when I was a kid, where I was made to somebody made me. They pretty much. I'm not going to say they restrained me, but they pretty much forced me to get my eyebrows plucked. So I had to sit there and I could not say no. I could not say no. And it was painful and it was absolutely miserable. So I've had a bad experience with that. And I don't like even doing it. I don't like getting paratweezers to my eyebrows myself, even because I'm just so sensitive. I think it's an autistic issue. It's partly trauma and it's partly autism. And I don't like that. I have tried shaving them, but it's really hard to shape them. So, and people have recommended, hey, why don't you wax them? And I'm just like, that, I don't know if you're sitting here, you go to, you pay $10-20 for the waxing and they'll do it. It never really turns out the way that you want it to. And I have to sit there and I have to pretend, like, I will sit there and I will actually start getting tears in my eyes. And what they do is they put the hot wax and they go, and you're like, and it's like, are you okay? Yeah. Well, you jumped. I was like, yeah, it was shocking. You just stripped the hair out of my skin. Yes. And they're like, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. No, I don't enjoy this, but it's cool. So I just have to sit there very calmly, even though this is like not the place that I want to be. And it's not the thing that I want to do that day. So I just choose to be natural. I just choose to be natural. And if that's an issue, as I said, I've seen people who actually have unibrows and they are very beautiful. I mean, look at the woman in gold. She had a unibrow, and she's considered to be one of the most beautiful women in history. You know, she had, and in a lot of cultures, extra hair was actually attractive. And but the way that I see it, if you have hair and you think that you need to shave it and that's what's normal and comfortable for you, then good. But if people are pressuring you to do something that's not normal and comfortable for you, then don't do that. Don't let people pressure you into changing who you are just so that they'll be comfortable. Because if somebody loves you and cares for you and respects you, they're going to be comfortable with who you are. They're going to accept you for who you are. And if they don't, that is a controlling and judgmental individual and possibly even toxic. So I don't judge people. If it's normal for you, then it's normal for you and it's healthy. Okay. Hair is normal and it's healthy. And I really don't care where you wear it. If you have a beard, if you have a mustache and you are comfortable with that and you see that as being healthy and normal, then good for you. I respect that. I will accept you and I will love you unconditionally because that is the way you live your life. That's what you've chosen to do. That's your body and you have every right to do what you want with it. So, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't look a certain way because who decides how you look? You decide. You decide. As soon as you hit 18, you decide who you are. You decide what you look like. And me, I choose not to pluck my eyebrows. I choose not to shave my arm hair. And I choose not to wear makeup. And I choose not to wear filters. I don't wear them. I choose not to put them on. To use them. Because I want to be real and I want to be genuine. So, yeah, if someone is going to come on here and says you have bushy eyebrows, well, obviously, yes, I've seen myself in the mirror and I've looked. And yes, but let me know when it's going to affect who you are as an individual. Is it really going to affect who you are as an individual? Is it going to affect your next move? Because if I do that, I don't know how I don't know how facial hair is really going to affect somebody's life. I mean, what it comes down to, if someone is more worried about your body and what you're doing with it than you are, that's an issue. They have the problem. That's their problem. That is their problem. They have made it their problem yours. And guess what? You can accept that, or you can say, hey, that's not my problem anymore. You made it a problem for yourself, and I'm going to do me, and I'm going to be normal. I'm going to be the best person I can be, and if that means not putting a razor to my arms and not plucking my eyebrows, and that is what's comfortable for me, then I will do that. I don't really care. I know people say, hey, you must care what people think of you. Of course I do. Of course I care about what people think of me. But the thing is that has changed is that I am at peace with myself enough and I'm comfortable with who I am to the point where I'm not going to let what people think of me affect me that deeply. I mean, obviously, if somebody says something hurtful or mean to me, yes, it's gonna hurt. It will hurt, but I'm just gonna let it go because I realize not everybody can see past the physical and see past all of the things that a person is. Because if you cannot see past how someone looks, you're gonna find yourself in a very lonely and isolated place, because you need to realize that a person is not just their body, they're not just their looks, their hair, their eyes, their mouth, their nose, all their body parts. They are more than that. They have a soul, they have a mind, and you need to get to know that heart and that soul. And if you're ever going to find love in your life, you're really going to have to get to know that person, not just because they have big boobs or a big butt or they have big lips or big eyes or something. You have to look beyond that, because love is really deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And a lot of people fall in love because of somehow someone looks, and it doesn't end well, usually. That's why you do have to get to know the person that is beneath the skin, that is beneath all of these things, all of the makeup, all of that, and you need to figure out how they think, how they function, and kind of the idiosyncrasies. You need to do that, because if you judge people for the way they look constantly to the point where you're just obsessing over it, you're going to find yourself in a very lonely position where people don't tend to like to be around judgmental people. Just saying. I've been around people like that, and I don't want to be around them. I genuinely don't want to be around them. I feel very self-conscious around judgmental people, because I know if I know someone's judgmental, I'm going to look at them and I'm going to like, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, this or that. And it's uncomfortable, but once you kind of unpeel and unmask like those insecurities that you have about yourself, and you are able to see yourself in a more positive light rather than getting disgusted by what you see on camera or what you see in the mirror, then you can realize, okay, the only opinion that matters is the opinion I have of myself and the opinion of the people that really care and love me and respect me and accept me for who I am. That is what's important. And the way I see it, and I have made this an issue ever since I was on TikTok. Long time ago. last January, well, about a year ago, yeah, about a year ago, I had TikTok, is I was informed about the body positivity movement, and I was really shown what body positivity is, and never heard of it before. Obviously, it's not because I'm a fat phobic bitch. That's not that's not the reason. I just was not aware of it. The way I was raised in a kind of a fat phobic environment, I would have to say, and it was constantly being reinforced. And I was body shamed. Um, that's why a lot of people have body dysmorphia. The other reason is media, the movies, modeling, ads, all sorts of things. The movies, it's just all of that, and that gets into people's heads. And it's not just women. I'm not making a general statement where it's just women that have this. Men have it too. And to be honest, body dysmorphia for men has gone up to 56%. So 56% of men have body dysmorphia, which means they look in the mirror and they see somebody that's not good enough, and they don't like what they see. And women are about 46%. So men are becoming more self-conscious. It's becoming more of an issue for them. So I realize that anorexia and bulimia and body dysmorphia and other things that are related to those issues, like body issues, is very prevalent in both men and women, and it's prevalent with many communities, LGBTQ, many different places. And even if the family environment is good, like it's a good family environment, it's healthy, these things will enter your mind, and these insecurities will develop. And it takes a tiny little seed, and eventually it grows into a huge ass tree of worries and concerns and insecurities, and just, it's really hard to have to chop that down. You have to literally chop down every branch that has your worries and your fears and those things, and eventually you get to the point where these worries and fears don't control you anymore. The insecurities don't define you anymore. You're able to just be free and be at peace and be able to love yourself and love others. And I really do believe that if you're able to love yourself, you are on the way of loving others. And sometimes you have to look within yourself and find those beautiful things about yourself before you can see the beauty in others. And I really have noticed that those things go side by side. They're hand in hand. And loving yourself and loving others is really important, and it's important as we evolve as a person. So that's very important also. But going back to body positivity is not so much looking at somebody who is a certain size and saying that that's okay. It's more of saying you're not your body, and you are beautiful the way that you are. Despite your perfections, you're perfect the way you are. These perfections are beautiful, and you deserve to be beautiful. You deserve to feel beautiful, and you deserve to be loved and accepted and validated and respected and treated like a normal human being, okay? That is a body positivity, and this doesn't just go for plus size individuals, okay? This doesn't just go for them. This goes for people that are thin and gawky and don't feel very comfortable in their own skin. It's about that too. And for somebody like me that has never felt really, for a long time, has not felt good in their own skin, and wanting to be a different person and hating that I wasn't, that I really connected with that. I really felt connected, and when I looked at these women of all shapes and sizes, I saw beauty. I saw success. I saw so much good, and just these women, they didn't care. They didn't care. They were like, here's my body. It has cellulite, it has flab, it has stretch marks. There are all these, and they're just showing it off, and they're saying, this is me. This is me. And I saw that, and I was so inspired. I was just like, I have to be involved with this somehow. And somehow I'm always talking about body issues and about how normal things are. And I'm going to say, flab, fat, cellulite, stretch marks, that's normal. That's normal. It's what a body has. We need fat to survive. Cellulite is something that just comes with the territory, especially with women. I mean, men get it too. Men get the stretch marks. We all get stretch marks because sometimes when we're teenagers, we grow too fast. We grow too fast for our body to keep up with, and so we'll get stretch marks. And the cellulite, well, I'm not exactly sure what cellulite has a purpose. I don't really know what the purpose is for it, but it is also very normal. And I have seen this on many occasions. There was this picture of this woman's tuchus, and I don't know why. I would have liked to have seen her face, really would have, but for some reason on the site there was somebody's tuchus that was on Instagram, and they were showing it with and without filters. And without the filters, yeah, she had this really nice ass, I guess. It was I don't rate people's keisters, really. I'm not sitting there and going, oh, I'm not, it's not really a turn on for me, especially I'm not attracted to women. So but what interested me was that they showed the before and after, and it turned out, yeah, this girl had cellulite, and what she had done is she had used the filters to make it look like, that she had this perfect little butt. And yeah, I'm gonna say that women have rolls and bulges, and men have rolls and bulges and stretch marks, and both men and women have rolls, bulges, and curves, and things, body parts that might be bigger than the other. That's very natural. If one leg is skinny and the other one is a bit bigger, that's natural too. Things are not symmetrical. Obviously, the body is not symmetrical. I mean, when we look at a face is never symmetrical. That's just like the natural thing. That's just life, I guess. I don't know. We just weren't meant to be perfect. I could go into the philosophical religious speech, but I'm not going to right now. And then another thing is that when you have I'm just saying that when your body has these imperfections, the cellulite, the stretch mark, the bulges, the rolls, the inconsistencies and the flaws, the scars, those are natural. They're normal. They're healthy. Now, unless, of course, this is to the point, this is the way that I live my life. If your imperfections, otherwise these rolls and bulges and certain things on your body is like a concern, like it's a health concern, where it's like your doctor's telling you need to change your lifestyle now, this is getting to your problem, you need to lose weight and exercise, unless it's one of those things where it's a health concern, yes, it's healthy and it's normal, and it is, your body is what it should be. And unfortunately, we look in the mirror and we're thinking thunder thighs, and ew, I've got a muffin top, and ooh, wait, was that better before? You're looking, and you have to look at yourself and say, well, this is you, this is who you are, and if people don't love that about you, then gosh, they're missing out. They're really missing out. They're really missing out on the real you. They really are. And, the way I was raised is that if you were overweight, if you had a weight problem, we're not going to go into details about how you're overweight. If you had a weight problem and you're overweight, you were not going to get the best you could out of life. You weren't going to get a guy, you weren't going to get a girl, you weren't going to get a good job or this or that. And then I look on social media and I'm like, wow, what I was taught was totally wrong, because I saw these people that were overweight and plus size, and they had successful marriages, successful businesses. They were models, they were making millions, they were in movies, they were in TV shows, and they were getting careers, and they were happy people. And you know what? People loved them. People accepted them for who they were, and they enjoyed their content, and they had a following, and I was like, wow. So regardless of your shape or size or your weight, you can be happy and at peace with yourself and be successful and have people love you for who you are. So this was mind-blowing to me, because I had been brainwashed my whole life about these things. And this is not my fault. I was a child when these things were brainwashed, when these things were put into my head. And I had to just unpack them, and I had to just, realize this is not realistic. This is somebody's really sick and twisted point of view that was pretty much force-fed into my brain. And that's not my fault. That's what is my fault is if I continue to think these things and I continue to judge people, even when I reach the age where I am accountable for my actions and my thoughts. Now, I decided to change. I decided to see people as beautiful. I decided to see the world as beautiful. I decided to stop judging people, because I know what it feels like to be judged. I know what it feels like to be judged, and it's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible feeling to be seen as less than a human being, to not be seen or be heard. So I try to be kind, because I haven't always been given kindness. I haven't always been given respect. I've been mistreated. I've been abandoned. I've been hurt a lot of times, and that fuels me to be a better person. That fuels me to go out of my way every day to treat somebody like they were wanted, like they were needed, like they are important. You are important. You do have a purpose. You do have a reason to be here and be alive. You might not see it right now. You might feel, yeah, I'm worthless and I'm useless, and I don't have a job, and I don't do this, and I don't do that, and I don't wear this, and it's like, yeah, guess what? There's a lot of things that you don't have. There's a lot of things that you probably will never do, but that does not mean that you are a failure. That does not mean that you are a disappointment. It just means that it's perhaps you are meant to do something greater. So things might not be going the way that you planned right now, but you might have something greater in your future. And maybe the point of you surviving, the point of you existing, is because somebody is waiting. They in a very dark place. They're in a very dark state of mind. They're about to just give up, and all of a sudden they see you walking up to them. They see you talking to them. They see you just being you, making a video, going live, doing whatever it is that you're doing, and they say, oh my gosh, maybe I do have a purpose. Maybe I am important. Maybe I really have a reason to exist. And they're just going to go on existing because you are striving. You are surviving. You've chosen not to throw in the towel. And because of that, that is the reason that they have continued on living. So really remember that if you ever have a point where you're like, I'm just going to give up, the thing is, don't give up, because someone might be waiting for you. They might be waiting to hear you, to see you, to listen to you speak. Maybe they are just waiting for that one kind word, that one moment where they feel like they can be special. And sometimes you will bring out the best in people without knowing it. You might just be, you might just be making a difference by just existing, by just being there. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit there and just listen to somebody talk about their life. And I've done this. I would be like, I'll have days where I'll be like, oh, I feel useless. Or what? That's what I don't feel good about myself. And just like give up, and it's just, you know how it is. And yeah, you just want to bury yourself 6 feet under, you know, dig a hole and put a rock over it. Yeah, there's days like that. But then I realize people need me. They need me. And I'm not saying this to be egotistical, like, you need me. I'm not like doing that. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is people need me to exist. And I've had people say this. They say, you're making a difference by just existing. And I was like, wow, really? And they're like, yeah, really. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm not really good at taking compliments. So sometimes I'm just like, okay. That's how you really feel. Good. I don't really believe that, but okay, you're good. That's what I'll do. But then, and so, yeah. And sometimes people will say this to me, my friends, my family, they will say, something about you just makes me feel calm. Like, I feel calm. I feel good about myself when I'm with you, and when I hear you, when I talk to you. Suddenly, my day wasn't going so well, but now I feel better. And then I realized really the effect I have on people, and just by being me, just by being the person that I am. I didn't have to work hard for that. I just had to be who I am, and that's all I had to do. And it's quite possible that just by being you, just by being there, being here, being in this universe, that somehow you're going to make a difference. And guess what? You won't even have to try. You're gonna be at the right place at the right time. You're just gonna be, in the room, watching HBO, whatever. And someone is gonna look at you and go, I'm glad you're here. And you're gonna be like, why? Because you're here. So you might not know that this other person is glad that you exist, but believe me, there is someone that is happy that you exist. You might not know them, you might know them later, you might never know them, but someone is happy that you exist, and I am happy that you exist, whoever you are. And whoever is watching this video, I'm glad that you exist, because this is the reason I make videos. This is the reason I continue to go on, because I know I can make a difference somewhere in somebody's life. And I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. And I don't know if I'm going to stop making videos or what, because I can't stop. I think I could do this all day, literally. But until then, I shall be here, and I would love to hear your comments and love to hear your thoughts, whether they're positive or negative. You all have a good day.